Let's talk to one of the Conservative Party MPs who says that she will rebel against Theresa May on the Brexit bill. It's Anna Soubry, and she joins us from Nottinghamshire. Very good morning to you. Which bit are you going to rebel against your Prime Minister on?
Well, can I just correct your otherwise brilliant political editor in this respect? The concern is not what happens if there is a deal, which obviously we hope there will be, and the Prime Minister has given her word that if there is a deal, both Houses of Parliament will vote on the deal. That's great, that's good, I don't have a problem with that. The problem is what happens if there isn't a deal? And what the Prime Minister so far has said she will not do, or the government will not do, is allow Parliament to debate and vote in the event of no deal. So we would just, if there's no deal, fall off the cliff edge, fall into what we called World Trade Organization tariffs, which would mean an extra 10% on the cars that we make in places like Sunderland and export into the rest of the EU. That hard Brexit, in my opinion, would be exceptionally bad for our country, and we should be able to vote and debate that before we did such a thing in Parliament, and I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah, now, I think a lot of people would agree with you that that doesn't seem unreasonable. However, is it the case that the Prime Minister and the Conservative Party whips are going to make sure that Conservative Party MPs don't do that, that they have to vote against this option?
Well, I mean, obviously, the job of the whips is to get through the government's business. And that's what happened in the House of Commons when an amendment rather similar to the one that the Lords will be debating today, possibly tomorrow, more likely tomorrow, and vote tomorrow. There was a clause that was put forward, actually by one of my Nottingham colleagues, Labour MP Chris Leslie. And the Labour Party supported it, the SNP, Plaid Cymru, Greens, and 7 Conservatives, including myself, voted for that amendment. However, we didn't have a big enough majority. Now the Lords will debate pretty much the same amendment. They may well pass it, in which case it comes back into the Commons. No doubt the government whips will get up to their usual sort of, I nearly said tricks. I wouldn't say such a thing against the whips, of course, but they will put the pressures on and we will see what then happens. I will certainly be voting in favour of such an amendment if I don't get the sort of promise that the Prime Minister has given in the event of a deal. And all I ask is that she says, yeah, you're right, in the event of no deal, we will come back into Parliament, and Parliament will decide and debate the future for our country. Okay. This really is not unreasonable. I mean, we live in a parliamentary democracy, for goodness sakes.
OK, in your piece for The Mail, very interesting read, you say this: I have no doubt Mrs May sympathises with many of my arguments. I'm betraying no confidences by saying I understand she has intimated as much to Conservative MPs whose word I trust. Similarly, there are members of the Cabinet who agree with me. For some reason, they've chosen to keep their heads down. But it's a pretty serious charge that the Prime Minister herself agrees with you, a rebel, and would, under normal circumstances, be, presumably, rebelling herself.
Well, I think actually you've said that she agrees. She has sympathy. And actually what happened, which is a bit technical and may interest political commentators and be a bit boring for most viewers, but what happened was that when we debated this in Parliament, there'd been a meeting between some very senior backbenchers and the Prime Minister, and we had thought that, in effect, an agreement had been reached. But unfortunately, when it came to the debate in the House of Commons, that agreement wasn't put forward into the House. The Minister failed to do that, in my opinion. Now, it could have been a cock-up, it could have been conspiracy. Who knows? We are where we are. And it wasn't done, which is why people like me, I've never rebelled against my government. I take it very seriously. But I was put into a position where I had no option because, unfortunately, doing the right thing in this instance hadn't been done.